Well, the experts are saying that Don and Candace Wells didn't have anything to do with the disappearance of Summer. But why did Candace fall apart when the word cornbread mafia was mentioned? This whole whodunit is slowly getting clearer, and hopefully, law enforcement's getting closer than ever to solving this child's disappearance. Well, the experts are now saying that Don and Candace Wells didn't have anything to do with Summer Wells' disappearance. If so, why did she fall apart when the word cornbread mafia was mentioned? This whodunit is getting clearer, and hopefully, law enforcement's getting closer than ever to solving this child's disappearance. Well, thanks for joining Profiling Evil for this quick review of some of the crazy crime stories circulating this week. Now, before we get started, I want to invite you to take a moment, hit that like and the subscribe button, and ring the bell so that you get notifications on all our videos. That way, you get the newest stuff when it comes out. Well, earlier this week, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations provided their own update on the search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells. It's now been 5 months since that child mysteriously disappeared from her Rogersville, Tennessee home. From the very beginning, people started pointing fingers at her parents, Candace Bly and Dawn Wells. And from the beginning, I was cautioning everybody to wait in casting stones, wondering what information law enforcement may have that we, the public, simply do not. But social media doesn't wait. It's gone wild with angry accusations, and it hasn't stopped there. Summer's parents recently reported that they continue to fear for their safety, and they share stories, horror stories of people exploiting them, all in an effort to get views on YouTube or likes on Facebook. This week, investigators took to the media themselves to report that they're seeing another increase in misinformation, bad information that's being spread online about the case. I hope that we'll all rethink our posts and comments. Personally, I'd hate to think my frustration in this case, and especially my words, would do anything negative in the investigation. Now, TBI in their press release said, quote, "We want to be clear that we're doing everything within our power to find her. We continue to work daily with Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to determine what happened to Summer." No one is more frustrated than us by the lack of answers at this stage. However, we haven't given up and we won't, close quote. Well, as they continue to conduct ground and aerial searches, including searches in the waterways, talk show personality Dr. Phil shared his thoughts on national television this week. And what he said is blowing some minds. He said he doesn't believe that Candace or Dawn had anything to do with the disappearance of Summer Wells. I've said from the get go that we just don't have enough information to say whether they do have responsibility or not, nor, frankly, is it our right. But let's listen as Dr. Phil shares his feelings about this couple.
Let me tell you what I think. And like I say, I've done this a lot, and I trained as a forensic psychologist, looking psychology and the law and the forensics involved with human behavior and conduct. And based on the timeline and the factors here, it's very clear to me, based on the facts, that neither one of you did anything to hurt your daughter.
No, sir.
From the beginning of this case, I've said that we've got to remain open to the possibility that Summer could have wandered off on her own and succumbed to the elements. I mean, the area is filled with rugged and rocky areas, waterways, nooks and crannies. This is an adventurous little girl. That is so evident by the way she plays in her yard, the videos from her at the church. She's independent and aggressive. Now, while considering this possibility, I also got to remind you that we can't discount that her parents or someone close to her could have caused her death or her disappearance. We discussed the facts that there are examples where missing children have been rescued months later. Think about people like Elizabeth Smart or more recently, Cleo Smith in Australia. Sometimes these kids make it home, and we have to remain hopeful that that's what's going to happen with Summer. We also have to remember that Dawn is held firm in saying that Summer was abducted. But then we saw this really interesting exchange on the Dr. Phil show where Candace was asked if she did anything to Summer. Now listen to her resolute response. Then they ask if she knows what happened to Summer. Again, a resolute response. And finally, watch and listen for her response when she's asked, do you know who took Summer?
Candace, I'm going to have to ask you some hard questions. I told you this. Did you do anything to Summer?
No.
Do you know what happened to Summer?
No.
Do you know who took Summer?
Well, without question, we have to consider the possibility of abduction, which brings me to that interesting moment when Candace completely fell apart as she was being interviewed by the panel experts. When they mentioned the words cornbread mafia, she completely lost it and she shut down, eventually got up and walked away. Why?
What about those fellas that live around there in the cornbread mafia?
Cornbread mafia.
That's what we call them where we live. I don't know if this.
I have no idea. I've heard about some hillbilly mafia type stuff and everything, and all these different boys. We've tried to steer clear from all these.
This is wires up, man.
Shed and stole all my mechanic tools at one time. When they knew we were gone. They knew me and her were together. Just hang on.
Have you guys put any kind of security or anything on your place?
No, we don't have any kind of security.
The Cornbread Mafia is a group of Kentucky men who became known for their marijuana operation in the state of Kentucky. The name was coined by federal prosecutors in 1989 after they arrested more than 70 men for narcotics trafficking. The group is described as highly motivated and well-financed, not to mention the demand they have on its members to remain absolutely silent. Well, let's see if this significant event leads to more information about the group and possible ties to the case. It could be that Candace just couldn't take another interview, but I suspect that the immediate response we saw when the Cornbread Mafia was mentioned means there's more to this story. Hey, folks, and don't forget, TBI keeps asking about the red or maroon Toyota truck. They continue to look for that vehicle, stating it's a 1998 to 2000 Tacoma. It has a full bed ladder rack and white buckets in the truck bed. Now, they refuse to say why this is an important vehicle, but they do say that it is not a suspect in Summer's disappearance, hoping that maybe it's a witness. The TBI is asking anyone with information about the Wells case to call 1-800-TBI-FIND or contact the sheriff's office in Hawkins County at 435-272-7121. Well, make sure you check out that 2-episode series on Dr. Phil's interviews with Summer Wells' parents this week. I thought it was captivating and telling. And while you're at it, if you're doing a little Dr. Phil binging, catch the episode this week on Dennis Westenhoff's murder. It was personally an honor to appear on that show and to continue to support the Westenhoffs in their pursuit for justice. So what do you think about the interviews or the possibility of the Cornbread Mafia being involved in Summer's disappearance? I'm going to be watching for your answers down below. Hey, and as we approach the holidays, please consider picking up my 2 newest books, Deceived, an investigative memoir of the Zion Society cult, and She Knew No Fear. You can get signed copies with a special bundled price by visiting our website at profilingevil.com. And if you found this video to be interesting and educational, I hope you'll take a moment and hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you're ringing the bell so you get the notifications. Thanks again for supporting us, folks, and we'll see you all soon at the next crime scene.